Our leaders today for the biochar on-site session here are John Webster and Korina Stark. And before I send them over, one other housekeeping thing, in case you know, all bathrooms and water fountains and all are out your door and to the left down in the main hall. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to John and Korina. Y'all have a great day.
I can't believe we're here.
So happy to see everybody, those smiling faces.
You're not all in little cubes. You're like here, and like we can look at each other and like watch out. I'm a hugger, so you know, I'm just really excited. So I think we thought we'd just start by grounding in biochar on site, which many of you I've seen at our wonderful networking sessions where I know myself and so many others got to learn more and more about biochar, especially in forestry applications. But for those of you who haven't been to biochar on site and haven't participated in our community, we thought we'd give you just a quick overview of who we are, what we do, all of that good stuff. It's a completely volunteer-run organization right now, although we would love funding. And
volunteers.
And more volunteers.
Yeah.
But our whole, we just want to cover a little bit about who we are in our focus area. I'll go through the first couple, and then, okay. So we all know biochar is a broad spectrum of folks who are involved in it, use it, et cetera. And where biochar on site sort of lives is kind of in between, you know, folks who are sort of doing it at a really small scale, really mostly for, you know, their personal, you know, garden or something like that. And then there's also, industry scale, really large, amazing infrastructure being built. But our focus is really on people who are taking care of landscapes. So whether that's forestry, you know, or agriculture, defensible spaces is kind of like a little bit closer to the hobbyist side. But then the other emerging area is with recent disasters, whether it's wind, tornadoes, or actually also part of wildfire recovery. You're going to get to hear more about some of that today, which is really exciting. And then so for these 4 different areas, there's a bunch of different folks that we get to connect with. And it's been really, really cool because we've been able to have conversations with folks who are, whether they're providing this as a service or providing equipment, or actually are people who are stewarding their land, organizations in these different areas. These are all the people that we get to talk to all the time and connect. And then those people, like, what are the things that we're doing? Well, the number one is that we have this wonderful community of practice. And first Wednesday of every month, somebody presents on a topic, and then we get to ask them questions, and then we get to share out with each other. There's also fact sheets. Vanna's going to show one of the fact sheets here, which are really helpful, not just for practitioners, but also to help explain to other people what it is that we do. There's also the opportunity for people to get listed in the directory, and a broad range of basically an increasing number of services that we're hoping to be able to provide. And really, if we can connect all of these parts, that lets us scale out, not necessarily the scaling up that the industrial scale does. John, you want to talk a little bit about why we do this?
Yeah, thank you. So the primary objective is that we would like to normalize the use of on-site practices, so that way we can begin the process with the land stewardship, sequestering the carbon, restoring landscapes, bringing about common sense approaches to biomass management and carbon sequestration. And the way that we're doing that is we're focusing through education and outreach. So we have a vision. Again, it's all based on bringing people into the fold, scaling the community, in particular on a horizontal fashion, because those industrial applications are fantastic when you have a platform, but we need to move beyond single platforms and limited mileage. We can do this in place. So we are going to work to bring a widespread adoption, and we do that through our outreach and education. And again, our community practice, we bring together a working group of individuals that are out there in the woods doing the work. And by woods, I mean wild lands, urban environments, anywhere there's excess biomass to deal with. Sometimes we call them invasive species, sometimes we call it troublesome biomass, other times we just say we got a bunch of wood. So again, this is the fact sheets. Charlie, thank you. This was the last of the contract we had to wrap up with the Forest Service. You can see we've got endorsements and partners from all over the world. So this is not just about local, it's not just about the United States. This is a global network that we're seeking to build. On the next sheet right here, you can scan the QR code that's on the screen, and that'll get you a copy of our flame cap fact sheet. This is a basic explainer. Some of the next ones on our agenda are farm scale biochar. We're working on that with American Farmland Trust. We're going to be doing extended safety documentation, and then also an expanded flame cap kiln process. So monthly meetups, please join us. We post the information on both our LinkedIn page and on our website. We have an email forum, but it hasn't been very active. We're hoping at some point we can get that going a little bit better. We do have an event calendar as well as the directory, and then our social media present. So we're going to be down in booth 602. It's either 602 or 601. We're next to Air Burners and Tartar with the Ring of Fire kiln. So, all right, that's it. Everybody, thank you so much.